Hello and welcome. This is Notibot Yenji. Tonight, we bring you the latest developments in the escalating Middle East crisis. Regional diplomats are converging on Pakistan for talks aimed at ending the Iran war, while tensions in the region remain high. Iran has threatened to target U.S. universities in the region, and the conflict is dominating the headlines. Meanwhile, Ukraine is battling a brutal Russian offensive, and a surprise Israeli strike in Iran is casting a shadow on the diplomatic efforts. Let's break down the key stories and what they mean for the world. A high-stakes diplomatic conference is underway in Pakistan, where regional leaders are meeting to address the escalating tensions between Iran and its neighbors. Regional diplomats gathered in Islamabad, Pakistan, for talks aimed at ending the ongoing war between Iran and its neighbors. Foreign ministers from Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Egypt participated in the discussions, which were led by Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian. The talks were seen as a crucial attempt to resolve the conflict, which has been raging for over a month. The war began in response to U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran, which triggered retaliatory attacks on Israel and neighboring Gulf Arab states. The conflict has resulted in the deaths of over 3,000 people, with many more injured. The war has also had significant economic implications, particularly with regards to oil and gas supplies. Iran's grip on the strategic Strait of Hormuz has shaken markets, causing concerns about the stability of global energy supplies. The situation remains volatile, with Israel announcing waves of incoming strikes from Iran on Sunday. The explosions were heard throughout Tehran, highlighting the continued escalation of the conflict. The involvement of regional powers like Saudi Arabia and Turkey underscores the significance of the talks, which aim to bring an end to the bloodshed. The war's impact on the global economy and international relations makes it a pressing concern for world leaders. As the talks in Islamabad continue, all eyes will be on the outcome, with hopes that a peaceful resolution can be reached. A growing regional standoff between Iran and the U.S. is escalating, with Tehran warning of potential attacks on U.S. academic institutions in the Middle East. Tensions in the Middle East have escalated, with Iran's Revolutionary Guards threatening to target U.S. university campuses in the region. The threat comes after U.S.-Israeli strikes on Iranian universities, which Iranian officials claim killed 5 people in the city of Bandar Kamir, near the strategic Strait of Hormuz. According to Iranian state media, nearly 2,000 people have been killed since the start of the war, including over 200 children. The U.S. has condemned the strikes on the Iranian universities, but Iran is seeking a stronger statement from Washington. The Revolutionary Guards have vowed to retaliate against U.S. interests in the Middle East unless the U.S. formally condemns the strikes. This latest development has raised concerns about the potential for further violence in the region. The attacks on Iranian universities have also led to increased attacks on major infrastructure in Gulf countries. In recent days, Iran has targeted aluminum plants in Bahrain and the United Arab Emirates, which it claims are linked to the U.S. military. These attacks have significant implications for the global economy, particularly in the energy sector. The Strait of Hormuz, which connects the Gulf to the Persian Gulf, is a critical waterway for oil shipments. The U.S. has a significant military presence in the region, and the escalation of tensions between Iran and the U.S. has raised concerns about the potential for conflict. As the global attention shifts to the escalating tensions in Iran, the situation on the ground in Ukraine continues to deteriorate at a breakneck pace. Russia has launched a brutal spring offensive in Ukraine, pushing forward despite months of peace talks that no longer appear to be Washington's priority. The escalation in Ukraine is overshadowing the ongoing conflict in Iran, drawing the world's attention to the region. The offensive has resulted in a significant loss of life, with over 8,710 Russian troops killed or seriously wounded in just 1 week. Ukraine's commander-in-chief, Colonel General Alexander Syrsky, stated that Moscow's troops were on the offensive across the entire front line, taking control of several key areas. The situation on the ground is dire, with Ukrainian forces struggling to hold back the Russian advance. Senior Sergeant Volodymyr Rozavsky, a 44-year-old veteran of the conflict, expressed his frustration with the ongoing peace talks. "This is not a sprint, it's a marathon," he said. "We must dissuade the Russians from encroaching on anything Ukrainian for at least another 100 years." Rozavsky's comments highlight the dwindling hopes that President Donald Trump will settle the conflict. Trump's focus on the Iran war has led to a decrease in priority for the Ukraine peace talks. The human cost of the conflict is mounting, with Ukrainian civilians caught in the crossfire. Alexander, a lieutenant serving in Ukraine's south, expressed his readiness to continue fighting against the Russian forces. "As long as they push, we will kill them," he said. "We see that the peace process is deadlocked. Russia is asking for what we can't give it, our land." The international community is watching the situation closely, with many calling for a swift resolution to the conflict. As tensions escalate in the Middle East, a new flashpoint has emerged, with the Israeli military launching a surprise strike in Iran's capital. We're coming to you live from New York, where a wave of strikes targeting infrastructure in Tehran and other areas has been launched by Israel, according to officials. The attack has been confirmed by multiple sources, including Israeli and Iranian officials. Iran has retaliated, with military officials confirming that missile strikes have been launched against Israeli targets. The situation is rapidly escalating, with both sides showing no signs of backing down. Regional diplomats are gathering in Islamabad, Pakistan, for emergency talks aimed at finding a way to end the conflict. Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Turkey are represented at the summit, which is seen as a last-ditch effort to bring peace to the region. The conflict has already claimed hundreds of lives and sparked widespread concern among world leaders. The US, EU, and other major powers have called for restraint and urged both sides to return to negotiations. The situation in the Middle East is volatile, with many fearing a wider war could erupt. The attack on Iran has sent shockwaves across the region, and the international community is on high alert. As the situation continues to unfold, we'll bring you updates and analysis from our team of experts. We'll also be following the developments in Islamabad, where diplomats are working around the clock to find a way to end the violence. For now, the focus is on finding a way to bring peace back to the region. We'll continue to bring you the latest news and updates as more information becomes available. Following a significant shift in regional dynamics, Indonesia's increasing alignment with the United States has left the Southeast Asian nation in a precarious maritime standoff. Indonesia's tilt towards the U.S. has left it stranded in the Strait of Hormuz, a critical energy choke point in the Middle East. The crisis began when Iran, in response to escalating tensions in the region, adopted a selective approach to maritime access through the strait. Rather than a blanket closure, Tehran has opted for a calibrated policy, granting safe passage to friendly nations and others perceived as cooperative or non-hostile. However, Indonesia's two vessels remain stranded, highlighting the consequences of its recent policy choices. Indonesia's decision to sign the Agreement on Reciprocal Trade, ART, with the United States and join the Board of Peace, BOP, has moved the country beyond nominal non-alignment into visible proximity to the U.S. orbit. The ART is not merely a trade deal. It reshapes tariffs, supply chains, and regulatory frameworks in ways that bind Indonesia more closely to U.S.-led interests. By aligning itself with the U.S., Indonesia has lost its traditional balance of power, leaving it vulnerable to Iran's new policy. The implications of Indonesia's actions are far-reaching. The country's strategic location at the crossroads of Asia and the Pacific makes it a critical player in regional and global affairs. By siding with the U.S., Indonesia has effectively taken a side in the ongoing Middle East conflict, leaving it exposed to Iranian pressure and potential reprisal. The situation also highlights the challenges of navigating a complex and increasingly unpredictable global landscape, where energy flows are no longer governed by markets alone. As tensions escalate, Indonesia's stranded vessels serve as a stark reminder of the country's precarious position. As tensions escalate, President Vladimir Putin's military operation in Ukraine has officially started, raising concerns that a fragile window of opportunity has been created. Russia's spring offensive in Ukraine has begun, with the country launching a brutal aerial attack on Wednesday, according to the Institute for the Study of War. The attack, which lasted for nearly 24 hours, saw nearly 1,000 drones and 23 cruise missiles launched, killing at least 6 people and hitting at least 10 locations, including a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The onslaught affected 11 regions and 7 cities, marking it as the largest aerial attack in a single day so far. The attack was seen as a significant escalation by experts, who warned that it could be Putin's biggest opportunity yet to accelerate his aggression against Ukraine. Ultimately, the escalation in the Middle East has created a window of opportunity for Putin because the escalation has diverted attention away from Ukraine, says Yaroslava Barbieri, a research fellow at the Ukraine Forum at Chatham House. The attack comes as President Volodymyr Zelensky warned that the conflict in the Middle East could hand Putin a window of opportunity to accelerate his aggression against Ukraine. With Russia funding its war effort through financial gains from the closure of the Strait of Hormuz and amplifying its attacks while Trump's eye is turned towards the Middle East, experts say this is a delicate moment for Ukraine. The attack has left Ukraine's air force on high alert, and experts warn that the country is now more vulnerable to renewed aerial attacks due to the relocation of air defense and system munitions to the Middle East. That's all for today's news recap. Thank you for watching. I'm your name, and we'll be back with more updates soon. Don't miss our daily news briefings by subscribing to our channel. Stay informed and stay ahead of the curve. We'll be here to bring you the latest developments from around the world. Until next time, good night and goodbye.